All right, guys, so we got to talk about failing progressive Chicago mayor, Miss Lori Lightfoot, whom recently came out here and made some statements in response to her city being up next, right? Her sanctuary city of Chicago being up next to receive the migrants from some of these other countries in Latin America that they claim they want and love so much, okay? So Texas Governor Greg Abbott has decided to add Chicago to the list of cities that will be receiving busloads of migrants from Texas, okay? You had Washington, D.C., you had New York, and both of those mayors complained about the migrants, saying that they are taking up resources, that they're straight on the social safety net, you know, making all the claims that conservatives have made in red states about these illegal immigrants, right? But they called us racist. They said, no, you're racist if you don't want illegal immigrants in your states, right? But lo and behold, once they receive the illegal immigrants and they see that, oh, wait, these people are actually a strain on our resources, it costs money to take care of these people, we don't want them anymore, right? They turn into the racists, okay? So we have Lori Lightfoot, who unsurprisingly is pulling the race card here when it comes to getting her busloads of migrants that people like her claim they want so much. And she also goes on to make a statement that I think that she's going to regret about welcoming these migrants into Chicago, especially considering the current state of Chicago. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll this clip of Miss Lori Lightfoot addressing Greg Abbott sending her city of Chicago a busload of illegal immigrants. Take a look.
In the meantime, there's a war of words between the Texas governor and the mayor of Chicago.
So this is the governor from Texas. To continue providing much needed relief to our small overrun border towns, Chicago will join fellow sanctuary cities, Washington, D.C. and New York City, as an additional drop-off location. Mayor Lightfoot loves to tout the responsibility of her city to welcome all, regardless of legal status. And I look forward to seeing this responsibility in action as these migrants receive resources from a sanctuary city with the capacity to serve them.
So what'd the mayor say?
Then the mayor says, unfortunately, Texas Governor Greg Abbott is without any shame or humanity. But ever since he put these racist practices of expulsion into place, we have been working with our community partners to ready the city to receive these individuals.
I want to thank, first and foremost, the Salvation Army. We could not do this work without them. They've been incredibly generous of their time and their resources. I want to thank the Resurrection Project. I want to thank the Hannah Group. There's so many others that I am sure I will neglect to mention. But what we see here is who we are, Chicagoans. When we have people come to our city, no matter their country of origin, no matter their circumstances, we all rally together and we stand tall. That's what we have done. That's what we will do. But let me also say this. Shame on Governor Abbott. What he is doing is immoral, unpatriotic, and it defies the values of who we are as Americans. We can disagree on policy and politics, but you don't treat people this way. But we will, no matter, stand up. But shame on him. He brings a stain upon our nation. This absolutely cannot continue. We've got to rally together in these times, help these people that are in need. We shouldn't be in a situation where families are thrown on buses with babies, pregnant women, people who are in need of medical care on an uncertain journey across our country. But in Chicago, we are ready, we are prepared, and we will make sure that none of these folks are left in the lurch. But there's got to be a better way.
AKA, don't send them to my city, right? Don't send them to my city. That's the better way. Guys, don't you love the cognitive dissonance of the Democrats, right? Did you just hear Lori Lightfoot say? The problem here is that they're sending these migrants on an uncertain journey, right? A bus from Texas, it's an uncertain journey. Pregnant women, okay, kids, right? You're sending them across the country, the United States of America, as if that's, a super dangerous trip. But she has nothing to say about the Biden administration and Democrats like her encouraging migrants to take an uncertain and dangerous trip across Central America, right? So you got all the smoke for Greg Abbott for sending immigrants on an uncertain journey to Chicago, which again, now that you think about it, Sending them to a city like Chicago could be sending them on a suicide trip, right? I mean, I'm just saying, right? I mean, again, that's not really funny. I'm just saying, like, the irony here. But generally speaking, right, a trip to New York or Washington, D.C., even as crime-ridden as these cities are, okay, I don't think it's more dangerous than taking a trip across Central America, right, when you're being smuggled by drug cartels, right? You're being exposed to these gangs, these criminals, the lawlessness that there is in Central America, right? Again, no concern for that whatsoever. No smoke for the Biden administration encouraging immigrants to take that journey. None whatsoever. But again, you want to pull out the race card and you want to claim racism when Greg Abbott is doing something that you liberals claim you support, right? If you're a sanctuary city, how is it racist to send immigrants to a place where people want them, right? They say that we want immigrants, we're welcoming. If you're so welcoming, you should support busing, especially if you're against so-called racism or the racism and the bigotry that is being done to so-called people of color in states like Texas and Arizona that you guys claim, right? If they're being mistreated, if so-called people of color and immigrants are being mistreated in places like Texas, and Texas says, okay, we'll just bust them out and send them to Chicago and New York and D.C., liberal cities that, you know, they're going to be treated better. How is that racist, right? According to your own argument, this should be something that is anti-racist. You're putting these people in a better situation. But we all know why they're throwing out the claims of racism, because they don't have an argument. They know that they're being hypocrites, so they got to throw out the race card. They got to claim racism because that's how you deflect from the real conversation here, which is why you so opposed to this. If you are a sanctuary city, if you are welcoming of immigrants, what is the problem with red states sending immigrants to these cities, especially with consent? Because they're signing forms to do it, right? They have to sign off on paperwork saying, hey, I want to be bused to, you know, X, Y, and Z, right? They're not just, you know, smuggling immigrants on buses. They're not kidnapping them and throwing them on buses and saying, hey, you got to go to New York, you know, Washington, D.C., or whatever, you're kicked out of Texas. Is not what they're doing, okay? They're signing up to go to these places. So what is the problem? What is the problem? Well, the problem is they don't really like illegal immigrants. The problem is they know the truth, that these people are a strain on the social safety net. And that is why Lori Lightfoot is saying things that she's going to regret. Because her coming out here and saying she's welcoming these immigrants is going to incentivize them to come to Chicago, right? When Greg Abbott says, who wants to go to Chicago? People going to say, oh, Lori Lightfoot is welcoming us there. Great, let's get on the bus and go. Only thing you're doing is inviting more and more to come. And do you really want to have more illegal immigrants? People who you don't know what their background is, you don't know their criminal history, you know nothing about them. Do you really want them in a city like Chicago that is being crime-ridden? Okay, one of the most dangerous cities in the country. You have businesses leaving this city in droves. Okay, people leaving. Okay, because the city has basically become a war zone. You want to add more illegal immigrants to the mix. You think that's actually going to end up well for you? I don't think that's going to work out well for the city of Chicago to have more illegal immigrants to be welcoming them into your city. But hey, if that's what you're saying, then you should stop complaining about the busloads of migrants coming to your city, right? You can't talk out of both sides of your mouth. You can't say we're welcoming of illegal immigrants and then turn around and get mad at the Texas governor for sending immigrants to places where they're welcome, right? Democrats claim they love them so much. But again, we all know why Democrats have been saying this, right? The Democrat mayors have exposed the Democrat Party and their rhetoric about illegal immigrants in the sense that we now know that the truth is that they don't actually really like illegal immigrants. They don't really want illegal immigrants. They only really want them in red states. Okay? And the reason why they want them in red states is because they know that if they stay in red states, they don't have to deal with it. It's not a strain on their resources. It's a strain on red state resources. And eventually, a lot of these immigrants, because of the promises of the Democrat Party, will eventually vote blue if they gain citizenship or if they have kids who eventually down the line will be woke revolutionaries because they've been educated by a public school system that is actively making kids woke. They will vote Democrat, and that's the plan, right? That's the plan. Don't let anybody tell you anything different, right? This is why they're so upset when the illegals come to blue cities. Okay, because they actually never really wanted them. They just wanted to incentivize them to come to the United States, and hopefully they stay in the red states and they don't come to the blue cities, right? Don't come to the blue cities. But unfortunately for them, Greg Abbott has called their bluff, and now the Democrats are revealing their true colors. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.